Going to be an incredible display of multi-engine, high-horsepower excitement. Some of the best in the nation are assembled right here at Rock Springs, Wyoming to compete for top dollars on the Copenhagen Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit.
You get some money from selling oil, singing songs of trade and shares up on the soil. We'll all be working hard as we can for the cash, one and all. I've got the money wherever I go. Money beginning to grow. Well, the world keeps turning.
On this segment of Challenge of Power, you'll see the hottest group of four-wheel drive vehicles ever assembled in one place. In this class of pulling, the rules are quite different from the other classes of NTPA pulling. Four-wheel drive trucks are the only pulling vehicles that are allowed to use more than two wheels under power. Four-wheel drive trucks are also limited to fuel injection, naturally aspirated engines. That means no supercharging allowed. Without a forced air system, the motors make about 1,000 horsepower by sending power through all four wheels, making them pulling's most efficient vehicle. Our test puller is coming up now, and we will have all the action of the 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class when we return.
You won't get very far if your money disappears.
Welcome back. What promises to be a super 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class. 650 cubic inch engine limitation. That's the top end. No supercharging allowed in this class. 1,000 horsepower produced by these Fords, Chevrolets, and Dodges. It's an incredible class, and it's coming right up. Our test puller, Bob Smith, the Three Bears pulling team out of Winchester, Virginia. 632 cubic inches of power. Now, he's our test puller, which means he has the option of taking this pull or dropping back into the class. The reason why you do this, the sled has to be set. It has to be set correctly, and you give your number one puller, the first person to hook, the option of taking that run. Bob Smith, Winchester, Virginia, the Three Bears pulling team. What a great effort. The Three Bears pulling team. Bob Smith takes it right out the gate, or very, very close to it. Bob Smith's got to feel pretty good getting back in the saddle again and coming out the gate 300 feet.
Yeah, that feels pretty good. It was a good run. I don't know if they'll change the sled or not, but that's a good run for me.
Good luck. The Three Bears pulling team, Bob Smith, back in the saddle again. Ed Wandler out of Saskatchewan, Canada. The Budweiser Bandit, been pulling for about 11 years. 1990 Silverado Chevrolet powered by 650 cubic inches of janky motor. And Bud, the Bud Bandit, right now on top of the points of the Copenhagen Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit. Out of Battleford, Saskatchewan, Canada. Here comes the Bud Bandit. Bud Bandit takes a little bit different line on this particular pulling track, and he's going to come up a little bit short. 292 feet and 1 inch. Manuel Marino, the Yellow Rose of Texas, all the way from Seguin, Texas to Rock Springs, Wyoming. Manuel's had a great, consistent year. He led the points for a while, had some breakage, but he's been able to battle back. We'll see what will happen here in Rock Springs on this track. And he spots the sled close to the left side as we face the old Ironside pulling sled of Dave Hager. An interesting bit of maneuvering here on behalf of these drivers. We talked with him earlier, and he says consistency is definitely the key.
Well, we've had good luck with the truck. The motor's running good. The tracks are being very good this year, and hopefully we can continue finishing the top 5, and then we'll should win the points.
And the yellow rose is going to fall a little bit short, but 292 feet and 9 inches. That puts him 8 inches ahead of N. Wadler and moves him into second place. Let's talk a little bit about where you spotted the sled and what the ride was like.
The ride seems to be better than the rest of the track, so I hope it'll hold there at second place.
All right, let's hope it does.
Thank you.
The Yellow Rose of Texas, the pilot, Manuel Moreno, right now moves into the second spot. Here's the 4-place Chevrolet of the Holman brothers, a 1960 Chevrolet, 640 cubic inches of pulling power. It won the Grand National Points title 2 consecutive years. They're on the march to year number 3. We talked with Jim Holman about how you win a Grand National title.
Consistency wins the championship. This year we've had a better start and we've been more consistent than the past 2 years. Lately we've gotten a little off track and we've been a little inconsistent. We have to get back on the track and get more consistent. That's what wins the championships.
640 cubic inches in this sharp-looking 1960 Chevrolet they call the 4-play. Real close. They walked it, and they brought the throttle down right there. The 4-place Chevrolet of the Holman brothers in a good run right there. We saw Jim Holman do something a little bit different this time around. You seemed to walk it out of the gate and then kind of put the power to it.
Yeah, I tried to walk it out as gentle as I could. Actually, it was taking a little more than I thought. I had to hit a little harder than what I wanted to. I wish I could have kept walking it out. I think maybe I could have got it out the end if I had.
Good effort, but not quite good enough.
Well, I hope maybe it's good enough for second.
The 4-place Chevrolet of the Holman brothers. Manawa, Ohio, the home of this next puller, Jerry Carlton. And the Enterprise used to drive a Dodge, let's come over to Chevrolet. And we will see what happens right here as he spots the sled again close to that sideline over there. Only one person has had good success. That's been Bob Smith, the first puller we had in the class in a 3 Bears pulling team, Chevrolet. Chevrolets dominate this 4-wheel drive class, and we'll see if Jerry Carlton can make it happen right here today. Chevrolet, a bucking and a bouncing, but a good effort from the man out of the Buckeye State, Jerry Carlton, and the Enterprise. Well, Jerry, you started bouncing a little bit back down there. You got her under control, and then you were able to put the throttle right back into it. Let's talk about the run.
It was just a soft track, and it started to hop, and I wanted to let out of it enough to hook it back up, and when I backed up, I got a hold of it, but I let it hop too long before I backed out of it.
Yeah, but you had the wherewithal to get right back into it.
Yeah, and it's a lot better than I thought I would do on this track. Thank you.
We're halfway through this 6,200-pound 4-wheel drive class in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Bob Smith leads the class with a full pull. We'll have more exciting action when we return. Welcome back to Rock Springs, Wyoming. The 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class here. 650 cubic inches is the engine limitation. No superchargers allowed here. 1,000 horsepower and up. And all four wheels turning, turning, turning. Lots of high horsepower. Let's get right back into the action. This is Ron Green out of Fort Morgan, Colorado, and the truck he calls the Kamikaze. 1991 GMC Budweiser sponsored the Kamikaze truck, ready to come up here and run. Interesting, these naturally aspirated engines and being in this high altitude right near the Continental Divide, it does not seem to have affected these particular vehicles at the time. Ron Green, Fort Morgan, Colorado. This was a close pull for him. The first time we've seen him on a Grand National circuit. A 1991 GMC calls him the Kamikaze, and it's sponsored by Budweiser. We'll see what happens for Ron Green. Ron Green with a good effort right there. Tried to walk it out a little bit more, but he just didn't have the horses to get it done. 277 feet and 2 inches. Frank Young, the Monkey Business Ford, a 1989 Ford, 645 cubic inches of pulling power. 8th right now in our point standings on the Copenhagen Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit, and one of the toughest running Fords in the nation. We'll see what the man from Loxahatchee, Florida, can come through with right now. Spots the sled only about a couple of yards close to that left-hand side of the track. We'll see what happens as the Ford takes to the track for the first time. Of a wiggle in the run. The motor started to step down, and it's all over for Frank Young. Dave Ribeiro's up next out of the San Joaquin area in sunny California. A tough-looking truck right here. He calls the Californian. His first year, competitive year on the Copenhagen Skoal Tour, and he's been to every single event. Right now, sitting up there in the points, celebrated last week with his first win ever. A good young driver, GMC Motorsports sponsored, and I tell you, he has finally figured out how to play this game. He's definitely a hard-charging, aggressive young driver, and we'll see what happens here as he takes to the track. Again, only one full pull in our class. That Bob Smith, he was our first puller. The rest of the field's been trying to catch him. Got on it, but again, they're just using about 10 feet width of the track, and they're not able to get the good bite that Bob Smith had. Well, the only competitor from the Cowboy State right here is Mr. Larry Johnson. 1972 GMC. Good-looking truck, very competitive. Now, he's been following the Grand National Circuit, so it feels good to be back home.
Powell, Wyoming, Larry Johnson.
Out of Powell, Wyoming, home state puller. The crowd goes nuts, and we'll see what this man can do. He's been running the entire circuit, and Larry Johnson can definitely make it happen. The year of the truck, 1972. Here he comes. Run for Larry Johnson, and all rig #1, and the crowd comes alive. Well, Larry, a good run for you right here in front of the home state crowd. Boy, they loved it.
I'd have liked it a lot better, but that's the breaks.
All rig #1, the only home state puller here, and boy, the crowd was behind him. Schaefer out of Mount Vernon, Ohio. Former Rookie of the Year in the state of Ohio. 632 cubic inches. A top 10 performer last year. Right now, #9 in the points with a sharp-looking 91 S10. Jeff Schaefer, win, lose, or draw. Pretty much sums it all up. We'll see what happens here. Again, they're only using about 10 feet of the track right here, and we only have one puller with a full pull. That being our number 1 puller, the first puller, the test puller, Bob Smith. Here comes Jeff Schaefer, Mount Vernon, Ohio. Great run right there. Incredible performance. Jeff Schaefer, win, lose, or draw, gets the right spot on the track like we talked about, takes it out 300 feet on a full pull. Nice run.
Thank you. Just waited on it to hook up, and as soon as it did, I hit her, and that's all I could do.
Boy, everybody seems to be using the same area of the track right there. When you get down late in this class, what kind of effect does that have?
Well, I don't decide where I run until the guy before me runs. That's what he does to the track makes me decide where I go.
We'll see you in the pull-off.
Thank you.
Jeff Schaefer, win, lose, or draw, and right now, he's in a spot to do this right here. Win. Next up, Alan Snead out of Lancaster, Ohio, in a sharp-looking 1951 Chevrolet, powered by Pontiac underneath the hood, and a good-looking show-quality truck. 2 pullers left, 2 out the gate. We'll see what happens right now. Here comes Lost in the 50s with Alan Snead. Just a little bit short for Lost in the 50s. Alan Snead, a great run, but it's going to be just a little bit short.
I heard the announcement. The hook felt great, and just came a little bit short.
Looked like a good run for it. Maybe one of the best passes you've had all season.
Things have been coming around, Doc. Thanks for noticing that.
And it just breaks your heart when he comes up 2 inches short of a full pull. Out of Perry, Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Showdown, Mr. Mike Johnson, sponsored by Ditch Witch and Pennzoil. Tough running track. Mike Johnson talked about what it takes to win a Grand National Championship, and he should know he's had a couple underneath of his belt. We talked to him earlier today.
Well, it's going to take a lot of consistency, Doc, to get another Grand National title. All the trucks are real competitive, real close running trucks, and so it takes someone that's going to be real consistent weekend after weekend to do that. We've had a little bit of tough luck getting the truck dialed in, but we're starting to get back on track, and I think we still stand a chance of coming back and doing it for a 3rd time.
Mike Johnson, Perry, Oklahoma. Hammer down. Dan is waiting for you.
Mike Johnson, the Oklahoma Showdown, takes it right out the gate, 3 in a pull-up. Mike, I got to tell you, good-looking run right there. You put it into a pull-up, an excellent bit of driving.
Yeah, it felt real good. It didn't want to come up for me there at first, but I just had to get back on the clutch and ride it and got the RPMs up, and we got after it.
Best of luck in the pull-off.
Thank you very much.
Mike Johnson, former Grand National champion. We've got 3 in the pull-off, and we'll be back with all the exciting action right after this. Welcome back to the Sweetwater Motorsports Park. We've got a pull-off with Bob Smith, Jeff Schaefer, and Mike Johnson. 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class, 650 cubic inches of pull-in power. Alcohol racing alcohol, naturally aspirated engines. No superchargers here. 1,000 horsepower of pull-in power is coming up. And coming up first, the Three Bears pulling team out of Winchester, Virginia, and Mr. Bob Smith. A tough running truck. Winchester, Virginia has so many great pullers, and this four-wheel drive class, 632 cubic inches of Chevrolet power. The Three Bears pulling team, Winchester, Virginia, walks it out very, very, very slowly. Here he comes. distance that the rest of the class will have to shoot for. Bob Smith, 269 feet, 6 inches. Jeff Schaefer, win, lose, or draw. Jeff right now 9th in the points. Really needs a victory. He's got himself put in pretty good shape right now to pick up a Grand National win. He's worked on the motor during the offseason. He's got the experience. We'll just have to see if he can put the right combination to work here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. A great run for Jeff Schaefer. Win, lose, or draw. Excellent run. Jeff Schaefer, excellent pass right there. Good looking pull. You got to put it all together.
Yeah, I hope it'll hold up. I don't know. I think it will. We'll just have to see.
All righty. We'll hope it does, too, for you. Jeff Schaefer, remember, win, lose, or draw. He's banking on this right here.
So for right now,
What a beautiful night for pulling here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Right in the southwestern corner of this big, beautiful sky country. Tell you, Mike Johnson right now, the final competitor of the four-wheel drive class, has got experience enough to go past 286 feet. We'll see if he does it. If not, Jeff Schaefer will pick up a Grand National win on the Copenhagen Skoal Grand National Pulling Circuit. Green flag is out. Mike Johnson's distance, 281 feet, 8 inches, not good enough to bump the lead out of Jeff Schaefer's hand. We'll have an interview with the winner, Jeff Schaefer, who turned in a distance of 286 feet and 3 inches. We'll talk to the winner right after this. Welcome back to Rock Springs, Wyoming. The 6,200-pound four-wheel drive class is in the books, and Jeff Schaefer, 91's been very, very good to you. Earlier in the year, you won your first national event. Tonight, you win your first Grand National event. Got to feel great.
Yeah, I just can't tell you how it feels. It was well worth the long drive, and I just can't tell you how.